Welcome to another video by Jim the Car Guy. Today we have a 2012, it's an Audi, it's a Q5, and we're going to be replacing the front brake pads and rotors. What we're going to do, the first thing we're going to do is we're going to take this clip off right here. We're going to come around to the back of the rotor over here, to the back of the caliper. We're going to remove this bolt here. And there's another bolt right down underneath here. Also, right here. That's probably a 13 millimeter. We're going to have to unplug this sensor that comes around in here and plugs into the wiring harness over here. These particular brake pads come with the new sensor, so we're going to be replacing the sensor here. We're going to remove this knuckle, this caliper mounting bracket that's mounted to the knuckle. We're going to be removing the rotor, and we're going to be resurfacing the rotor. The reason we're going to be resurfacing is because of the lip right in here, and the rotor is still within specs, so we are able to resurface it. So let me grab some tools and we're going to get started, and I'll take you through this step by step. And what we're going to do is, when we talked about, we're going to take that clip off there first, clip right inside here. And the way we do it is you get in here with a screwdriver and you just take the clip and you just pry it up slightly, and you'll see where the clip moves this way here. You get behind it with the screwdriver right here. You pry it out like that, and it comes right off, and you just take it and you relocate it to the side. We're going to reuse this later on, so hold on to it. Next thing we're going to do is we're going to slightly push these brake pads back in, and the way you do it is you get in here with the screwdriver between the rotor and the brake pad and just push it in just a little bit. We're going to recess it later on all the way. This is just so we can get the caliper off of here without any complications. Next thing we're going to do is we're going to take our ratchet with our 13 millimeter socket on it, and we're going to loosen up these bolts in the back right here and take those totally out. Same thing on the bottom bolt here. We're going to remove that bolt. Once you loosen them, you can usually unscrew them by hand. We're going to also take these bolts and relocate these. We're going to need those too to put this back together. After you take these bolts out, your caliper will be loose, but don't forget that we talked about that clip in the back right there. We have to take that clip off. So let me just show you how we're going to do that clip right here. This is the, I know it's a little bit hard to see in here. I'm going to do the best I can to show you. You see this clip right here? We're going to actually rotate that clip out of the way so we can remove it from the car. And the way you do that, there's a little tiny pin that goes through that hole right there. You get in here with a screwdriver and you just get behind this. I'm going to do it, we're just going to move it like that. You see how it moves just that little bit? Push it a little bit. We're going to get behind it with the screwdriver and we're going to pry that clip out. It's hard to do with one hand, so I'm going to put this camera down and try to show you the best I can. And you just take it and pull that clip, and I'll show you what I just did. You see that little pin? See that little pin right there? I took it out of that little hole right there. And then what you do is you rotate this down and it comes right out like this. Alright, then we have to unplug this harness right in here. And what I've found with these harnesses, sometimes they're a little bit difficult to do. So what I do is, to avoid breaking the clip, I get in there with something pointy. In this particular case I'm going to be using a scribe. Come in through the back, because you'll see right here is the clip that you're supposed to push in. When you push it in, it's very difficult to get it out. Sometimes you can push it and it pulls right out. But what I find is if you try pushing it and it don't pull out, I'm going to try that first. Actually, let me just put you right here and we're going to see how it goes. Oh, it did come right out. Alright, so you just push that clip in and it pops right out. If by chance you can't get in there, or you push it and it does not come out, you get in here with a little scribe, which is common as they get older. Get in here with a little scribe and just go behind that clip right there and just lift it out just a little bit, and you can pop it right out. This piece, it doesn't matter if you break it, because you're going to be replacing it. This piece here with the lock clip, it's very important that you don't break that, because this lock clip has to snap back in when you put the new one back on the car. So, all right, now that we have this disconnected, we're going to take the caliper off of the car, and we're just going to remove the caliper. And let me just put this out of the way. We're going to remove the caliper. We're going to hang it over here with a piece of wire just to get it out of our way. All right, so what I take usually a coat hanger or whatever you've gotten. Take this, and you can take it off the car, and we're going to just relocate this. This is what I usually put wire on it like this, and just relocate it so it's not dangling by the hose. Now we're going to be taking off this mounting bracket right here. These bolts are usually fairly tight. What I usually use is a breaker bar to break it loose. The size of the nut in the back is a 13/16 in this case. And let me just put this on there and I'll show you what I'm going to do. Okay. What we're going to do is we're going to come down right here and we're going to take out this bolt and then that bolt right there. See? I'm going to take that out. We'll break these loose, and then we're going to take this mounting bracket off the car, and then we're going to remove this rotor. So let me just put you back over here, and I'm going to get started on that. Remember, it's always counterclockwise to loosen it, clockwise to tighten it. I'm just going to relocate those. One thing I want to show you also is you see these pins here. This is where the brake pad fits onto. So we're going to clean these up a little bit, and we're going to lubricate these later on. But I'll show you how that goes shortly. All right. For now, we're going to get that rotor off the car, and the way we're going to do that is we're going to come in here with a Torx Torx socket to remove it. See what size it is. Pretty good guess the first time. And the size of that socket is going to be it's a number 30 Torx that we use, and I apologize, couldn't see it. All right, now we're just going to put the Torx bit on there, and you just rotate it and take it right out of there. And then we're going to take the rotor off the car. Sometimes they stick a little bit. Most of the time they come right off. Not this case. What we can do is if you hit the face of the rotor here, usually it pops off. If not, what we're going to do, give yourself any kind of a pry bar or whatever, and you get behind the rotor with the pry bar, and just keep slight pressure on the bar and tap it. And you see it pops right off. Sometimes it can be a little bit of a pain, but just tap it, just watch it don't damage the face of it, and you can get it off fairly easy. All right, I'm not going to bore you with recutting this rotor. I'm going to go and cut it, and once I have the rotor resurfaced, we'll come back and we'll get this put back together. So I'll be right back. I just want to point out before we put that rotor back on there, what you want to do is you want to make sure that that this piece where the rotor is mounting onto right here, the hub, that it's actually nice and clean. There's no rust on it. In this case, there's a little bit of rust. I'm just going to clean it up with this disc here. You can use sandpaper, you can use whatever you have, but you just have to make sure all the rust is off of here, and it's not going to interfere with the rotor when it goes back on. So let me clean it up, and then we'll throw the rotor back on. We're going to put the rotor back onto the car. Remember, we're going to put it back on the way we took it off, because we've got to put that bolt back in there, that Torx bolt. So we're going to line it up. You just catch the screw in here. Fairly simple. Just reversing what you did of this Just torques up, hold it in place, and just turn it in there until it's tight. Not a big deal. I always do is screw a bolt in there just to make sure that it's not off just a little bit when it tightens up. 99% of the time it doesn't, but just I always put one in there. Fairly simple job. Snug it in there. It doesn't have to be real tight. Obviously, you can take your bolt back out. And what we're going to do is we're going to replace our mounting bracket that we previously took off. Right? Remember I told you about cleaning up these little pins right here. You can just wipe them off, clean them off, whatever. We're going to grease these back up for the new brake pads when we put them on. Just put a little lubricant right on here because the pads are going to slide on it. You can do it now, or you can do it once you have it mounted back on the car. A little bit of lube, and just hold your bracket in place, and then screw those bolts that we previously took out back in there. Before you tighten them up, catch both of them and screw them in as far as you can by hand, and then we'll come back in there with the ratchet, and then we'll finish off with that breaker bar to make sure it's tight. Them tight, and what we're going to do is we're going to take our caliper. Don't let it dangle. Put the caliper up so it's sitting on the block of wood or whatever, and then take our brake pad out. You can just tap it. I'm going to take the pad out. Slide it pretty well. Use a screwdriver on it. And we'll take both pads out. Now remember that on the inner pad you've got that sensor on there. I'm going to show you. See how your sensor comes through here like this? Take the sensor and the brake pad totally out, and then we're going to be replacing this sensor with a new one. So let's grab the new pad and we'll put it back together. The new pad, this is the new sensor, and it just slides on just like this. Match it up against the old pad that came out, and you'll see it lines up similar. It sticks up a little bit because it has to pull up out of the caliper itself. All right. We're going to put the brake pad back into the rotor. The sensor through, and now we're just going to leave it sitting through there. We're going to put the wire back in later. Put your pad in and push it back into the caliper like that. And what you're going to do is you're going to push the piston back in, and the way you do that is you put your brake pads in here. You take a tool that recesses the caliper and you put it in there, and you just tighten it in, and it slowly pushes the piston back inside the bore where it's supposed to be. Alright, and once you've got that piston pushed back in, you can remove your tool. And then we're just going to check this pad here to make sure it's in place. And what you heard there was the pin popping into the back right there on the brake pad here. You see this pin right here? It was popping right into that hole. You got to make sure you tighten it in with that tool until it pops in, and you'll hear it snap in. And then you know that your pad is set all the way into here, and the clips are held in inside the bore of the piston. That these clips have to fit into the caliper piston. All right, you can take your tool off. And what we're going to do, remember we took this out. We're going to just put it back through there the way that it was, which is right here. Right? It's back the way it was. And now we're going to put this back onto the vehicle. Remember we previously greased everything up. Just lay your rotor, your caliper back onto you here. And then we're going to put our pins back in and tighten them up. Catch them by hand. You don't want to screw them in with the ratchet yet. Screw them in as tight as you can by hand. That's it. Now, what I'm going to do is I'm going to take our sensor that we previously disconnected, and we're just going to push it back in to the harness, and you'll hear it snap in place. You can hear it. Snaps in, and then we're going to take it, and we're going to put it back up where we previously took it out of. Remember, it came out sideways, so you're going to turn it sideways a little bit. You're going to slide it in. Push your little pin over. And then you turn it until it snaps up. I'm going to put this down, but it has to snap back into that hole right there. I'll show you. I just couldn't do it with one hand. And you snap it back into place, and you'll see it locks in. And now that's positioned out of the way, so you're good. And the last thing we're going to do is we're going to take this clip and we're going to reinstall it on there. So I'll show you how that goes real quick. And that's it. You'll be all set then. The way you get it caught back in there is you put it on here like this, up against here, right? And you just take this piece, and you're going to get this little tab right here back into that hole there. You take it, and you push it. You may be able to do it by hand, or you may need to use a screwdriver. See? And snap back in. See? Alright, the main thing is you have to make sure that this is back up against this mounting bracket, and this piece here has snapped right into the rotor where it's supposed to be, and that's it. Alright, so we have our rotor hold down tight. We have our mounting bracket on the back of on the back over here. These bolts here have all been tightened up. This bolt here and the one on the bottom. We mounted our our caliper back onto the knuckle. We tightened up both 13mm upper and lower. We have our sensor plugged back together. We heard it snap together, and we put it back in where it's supposed to be. And that's it. We're all set. And the last thing we're going to do is we're going to go around to the other side of the vehicle, and we're going to do brakes on the other side. And we're going to take this and take it for a road test. Pump the brakes up before you drive it, because the pedal will be very, very low to the floor. But if you pump it a couple of times, it'll come right up to where it's supposed to be. So as you can see, replacing the brakes on this particular Audi is really not that difficult. As always, thanks for watching. I'll see you on the next one.